Start. So thank you, Fatma, for joining. And from EmoCare team, I do not know what all joins. Yeah. So shall we have a small intro in the chat box? Your name and where are you from? Just Saika from Kashmir. Wow, that's very nice. Nainital, Yogesh. Hi, Yogesh. Yeah. Shaza from Colombo. Amrita from Bahrain. Wow, Amrita. Ankit, Guna from MP. Ishwak, my dear friend from Kashmir. Rashmi from Nagpur. Sona from Bangalore. Richa from Oman. Mallishwari from Chennai. Nepal. Sri Lanka. Australia. Bangalore. Very nice. Very nice. We are having people from Ghaziabad, Kolkata. Very nice. We are having varied people here. Okay. So let us go to today's topic. Actually, today we are going to talk about the positive aspects. Positive aspects means how that we can support individuals who are thinking about that negative aspects. So whoever feels, suppose if somebody is coming and discussing about the negative aspects. So I don't want to use that word particularly today. Okay. So when I say negative aspect, you can think that is word. Okay. So if people come with that negative aspect thought and when they are talking with you, okay, how that what is that first to be done, okay, and how it can be handled, okay. So all these things we are going to discuss, and I am handing over to Shobhika Surendran for taking the training program further. So it will be completely a discussion aspect which Shobhika will take at. And I'm very, very happy to introduce Shobhika Surendran to all of you. So she is an international trainer and she is joining from Sri Lanka. So welcome to you, Shobhika, to today's program. And already she has shared the PPT with me. Okay. So a very nice PPT she has shared with me. The PPT I will be sharing it in the group now itself. I will be sharing it. Okay. So over to you, Shobhika.
Thank you for that lovely introduction, Mr. Shivakumar. And good evening to everyone for joining us here to discuss an important topic. And you all know, like he said, it's a negative aspect, but we are to push towards sharing the name as well. So it's about suicide prevention. And have you all heard about IASP or International Association of Suicide Prevention? If it is yes, please type Y. If it is no, you can type N.
IASP, isn't it?
Yes, International Association of Suicide Prevention, which is located in Geneva, which runs a structured and formulated programs in finding ways how we can prevent suicide. Please mute your...
Yeah, yes. Yeah, I am muted. I will make you co-host.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Please go ahead.
Okay. So as you all know, IASP or International Association of Suicide Prevention is located in Geneva, which works tirelessly by formulating theories and structures to prevent suicide all over the world. So do you all know when is Suicide Prevention Day? World Suicide Prevention Day, we popularly call as WSPD. Anyone knows which day it falls on? Yes. Yes, Ami Panchal, thank you. It's on the 10th September. So this year, World Suicide Prevention Day 2022. Every year it falls on the same day on 10th September. So let's see how WHO defines suicide. WHO says suicide is a process that ends with death, and it is initiated and conducted by the person with the knowledge and expectation of death. Do you all agree with that? Do you all agree that suicide is a process that ends with death, initiated and conducted by the person with the knowledge and expectation of death. Yes, not totally. Yes, Ria, that's a nice answer. Keep going. Yes, not completely. Okay. So the father of suicidology, Edwin Schneidman, in 1949, he discovered a lot of genuine suicide notes in a coroner's office in Los Angeles. Yes, Ishfaq, you're right. It does not always end with death. Sometimes it's an attempt. I won't say it's unsuccessful. Maybe they are successful in living and going on with living, right? Yes. So he found all these suicidal notes and he wanted to find what makes a person to take that decision of ending their life. And he said, it is a psychological pain that drives them to end their life. Yes. And also the purpose is to find a solution. So I'm suffering. I'm in pain. I need help. I cry for help. I'm not receiving help. Yes, that's right, Ami Panchal. It's a cry for help. So what happens is I want my consciousness to stop, the pain to stop. So I want to take a solution, and which is the quickest solution is to end my life. So that is what WHO defines as a process that ends with death initiated and conducted by the person. Okay, in historical aspects, can you all write to me where suicide was mentioned? In Indian culture, there was suicide. In Japanese culture, there was suicide. In Sri Lankan also, there was suicide. Could you mention some of the historical aspects of suicide? You can type it down. Yes, depression is also one of the cause. Okay. So when we go to historical aspects, have you heard about harakiri or samurai honor death? Type yes if you know. Yes. Where if the samurai fails in his attempt to do something, yes, in Japan, right? Yes. And also, I'm sure everyone would have studied in our history about Sati Puja in India, where the woman, the lady has to kill herself in the fire when her husband dies. So it is also a form of suicide. Yes, it is also in Nepal. Purushottam, thank you for the information. I had no idea. And suicide by ingesting cyanide, which was famously followed by one group called LTTE. And also in Sri Lankan history, there was a king called Kashyapa and Siri Sangabu who gave their life because they lost their honor. So these are all some of the historical aspects we have about suicide. Let's move on to the statistics, which is globally reported. So there will be a lot of suicide go unreported as well. So let me go through the statistics. More than 800,000 suicides annually, 3,000 suicides per day, and that is a staggering number. But nowadays they say it has reduced much more better than before. And one suicide every 40 seconds. Can you imagine that? While we are talking, a person is attempting or trying to end their life. And there is one suicide for every 25 suicide attempts, and it is the second leading cause of death. And 75% of suicide is in the low and middle income countries and 39% in South Asian regions. So suicide, do you think suicide is preventable? Do you think suicide is preventable? Yes. Yes. Purushothaman, you're right. Saikwa, yes, you're right. Yes and no, Ami Pancha, that is ambivalence. Yes, I understand. Yes, Ria. Yeah. So suicide is preventable. And it is a cry for help. Like somebody mentioned before, it is a cry for help. And why people choose to end their life? Can you type it out? Why people choose to end their lives? What are the reasons? What are the factors that leads to somebody to take that drastic decision to end their life? Yes, end their suffering. Yeah. Please go on. Yes.
If everybody comes on the video, it will be very nice.
Yes.
Shobhita is doing a very wonderful session. Why can't the beautiful people join on the video so that we can see each other and enjoy the program? Learn, not enjoy the program. Maybe we can learn more aspects. See, she will be more happy to communicate by seeing your faces.
Seeing, yes. Yes. Oh, I'm getting wonderful replies here. And I'm really happy this group of people already know a lot about suicide. Yes. So there are personal, social, psychological, biological, environmental, and also cultural reasons. And do you think there is only one reason to end somebody's life? No, yeah. Always there are multiple reasons for somebody to choose to end their life. There are multiple reasons. Yes, you're right. We are having a wonderful group here, sir.
Yes, yes.
They are amazing. Okay. So when we think about the factors contributing to suicide, individual factor is there and the community as well as the society. So together, all these factors contribute to suicide. I wanted to ask few misconceptions we have about suicide. Okay. So I'm going to tell you some of the misconceptions and you let me know whether it's yes or no. It cannot happen to me. Am I right? Suicide cannot happen to me. It's a myth. Yes. Rightly said, yes. It can happen to me. It can happen to anyone. Those who speak of suicide do not commit suicide. Am I right? Those who speak of suicide do not commit suicide. Is it a myth? Yes, Anipansha, lovely seeing your replies. It's false. Most of the people who talk about suicide, 70% of the people tell before they attempt suicide. So be cautious, people. When there is somebody expressing their pain to you, it means they are crying for help. Okay, so I hope we will move on to the next misconception. All who commit suicide are mentally ill.
Not that.
No. Yes. Yes. Okay. That is a person said yes. No. Yes. There could be other reasons as well, though majority of the people with mental illness commit. There are other factors as well. Another misconception is inquiring about suicide will encourage suicide. Am I right? If you're inquiring about suicide, I may commit suicide. Am I right? Not at all. Yes. Wonderful. I'm so happy to see so much of replies. Yes. Yes. So mental illness is a different aspect. So people with mental illness definitely would have other reasons. But when somebody is inquiring about suicide, it spreads awareness as well. The person will know more about life. So suicide process is a really complicated one where one person intends to end their life, they act upon it, unsuccessful trying, they leave the world, and the other, what is the other aspect there? When they act upon their idea of suicide, does it always end in ending their life? How about the survivors? Yes, there are people who attempt suicide, but live through it, live through the experience. So how does this affect them? Do we know about that? The suicide, the people who have attempted suicide. Do you know for every 100 suicidal thought, 25 suicidal act is carried out and 1 suicide ends. It ends up in 1 person leaving this world. So let's talk about suicidal behavior. What is suicidal behavior? How do that person behaves? I want to see some replies here. They face some trauma. Okay, how do they behave? What does their experience tell us? When you talk to a person who has suicidal ideation, how do they talk to you?
I had a No.
Yes, hello.
Yeah, I was doing a counseling of a suicidal boy in a school. So he was
Okay.
very shy. He was not able to speak up his problems. And when I counseled him, first I had to make a very good rapport with him. It took time.
It
And
took.
then, yeah, I work on his self-talk. And the situation actually he has come to the hostel, and there the roommates were very having a bad behavior towards him, and that was the
Mhm.
major main cause of that. So I talked to the authorities, and I tried to make comfortable room for him. I called his parents. I counseled them. I get to know why the boy is feeling that way, main cause of this, to what is there at home that is affecting him. And we worked together, and within 1.5 months, he was good. He started speaking, and he started interacting with others, and starting giving up. Well, I can say that he gained confidence and became a normal boy after one and
Oh,
a half. So it
thank
took
you.
time.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that lovely experience. I want to acknowledge your journey with the boy.
Yeah,
And I
thank
hope
you
you
very much.
got some insights also, right?
Yeah, I got.
Yeah. So people with mental disorders commit suicide, 50% of people, okay? And the main cause is depression, alcohol dependence, schizophrenia, and personality disorders. They are the culprits, I could say. So there is a mixed group, that is 40%, who do not intend to give their lives. Why do they make the decision? Is because of stress. And sometimes we say attention seeking, which I'm not going to use because I said it's a cry for help. When they feel helpless or hopeless, those are the main two emotions with people who have suicidal ideation. And also hopelessness, that is because of poverty or socially outcasted or miserable life condition. What do I mean by socially outcasted? Faraya Hassan, could you share with me? Faraya
Oh,
Hassan. Yes.
the only thing I wanted to share was I myself had tried once. So other than treating people with it, I myself have gone through it. For 1 week, it was like I had a nervous breakdown, and I was looking at rat poison on Google, and it was only when my parents. I'm 56 years old. So this is around the time when I was about 54, 52 when I did this. And my father came at 4 o'clock in the morning because my husband said he can't handle it. He couldn't handle me. So that's what saved me. Otherwise, I would have done something.
Raya, I want to acknowledge your journey. Thank you for sharing. It needs a great courage to come here and share your story with us, where people will gain energy from your story and they get the hope to move on with their life. Thank you, Faraya. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
It
So,
took a great deal to take it out.
I know, Faraya, I know. Yeah, we have a lot of people here, and I have a personal experience with one of my best friend. She was in she was doing her MBBS second year, and but she is a child who wanted to do engineering because of the parental pressure. She had to take it. So in the second year, throughout the first year, she used to tell me that I don't feel like doing this. I'm not motivated, and I'm getting scolded from the teachers all the time. And they say I'm wasting a seat. So lastly, before she carried out to end her life, she called me and she spoke to me about like I was humiliated in front of my class for the thing I really don't want to do, and I feel like I don't need to prove to anyone, so I'm saying goodbye to everyone. So I was thinking, because at that time during university time we didn't have that, we were not aware of all these things. So I just took it as a joke that, she always say that I'm saying goodbye to everyone. So next day, I got a call from her mother. She said that she lost her daughter. And that time I couldn't go and tell the mother that, I was very angry that they were the reason behind it. They pressurized her to do something that she didn't want to do. But as a parent, we all want our children to be in a good position, right? So I have to keep myself quiet. And it took me a long time to talk about this in a media as well. And it took me a lot of courage to come out of my sadness of losing my best friend. So here I am sharing with you all. So now we have spoken about everything about suicide. So let's talk about prevention strategies. Do anybody have any idea what are the prevention strategies? Renuka Devi, thank you so much. Yes, hopelessness and helplessness. These are the emotions you can identify with people who have suicidal ideation. Yes. Ami Panchal, thank you for sharing that. Yes, talking to people, keeping in connection. Yes. Yogesh, thank you for sharing that. We have 3 strategies, okay? So the 3 strategies was put forward by the the National Suicide Prevention Organization, universal, selective, and indicated. So what is universal? So when you have increased access to healthcare and mental health care, and also reduces the harmful use of alcohol, that is what we are doing by substance dependence counseling, and limit access to means of suicide. Now, she shared a story with me where she was looking up for poison, rat poison online. So we have to limit the access to means of these poisons and promote responsible media reporting. How many of you have heard sometimes media glorifies suicide? Anyone would like to talk about this? Anyone would like to share the experience with me where they glorify?
Yes. So I would like to say a few aspects. The thing is, recently in Tamil Nadu, there was a school. There was a school in which a girl, she there is a theory that she jumped from the 3rd floor and she died. Okay. Now the police inquiry is going on. What is the cause of the death? There is one theory that she committed suicide. There is one theory that something. Okay. But the thing is, actually, for continuously 4 days in Tamil Nadu, people were continuously talking about it. The live was going in all the channels. All the channels, the complete live was going, and which was criticized by many of the people who are in the mental health sector, because this may trigger the copycat behavior.
Yes.
This may create a copycat behavior, and incidentally, even after 1 week, there was one more aspect, okay, which I also shared in the group. So when people talk about that more, what happens? People start thinking in the same way. For example, there was one girl called Anita. She committed suicide in Tamil Nadu when she failed in NEET. So every time the NEET examination comes, some children, okay, they get it triggered. So the one of the ways is, as mental health professionals, it is we should see that we are not actually promoting it by talking about it, by glorifying it. See, now our purpose is to discuss the ways, many of the aspects which we may not know, even as Shobika told in the beginning of the program, International Association of Suicidal Prevention. About that organization, nobody, only very few knows it, few doesn't know it. So this is a forum of learning. Forum of learning is something, but if you go to YouTube, for getting the what do you call the views, for getting for improving the TRP, okay, many of the channels without understanding the seriousness of the issue, they start glorifying it. So that is my opinion, Shobana.
You rightly said, Mr. Shivakumar. Thank you for sharing that with me. We are talking about the strategies, right? So it's a universal strategy where we give them increased access to healthcare. So let it be mental health or physical health, and also we take care of any addiction problems as well. And also we limit access to means of suicide. So next is selectively, we target the vulnerable group. Like he said, like Mr. Shivakumar said, when children are attending examination or waiting for the result, please observe your children carefully. Also, the people who are in chronic pain or in palliative care, or who are going through a chronic pain throughout their life, or any medical conditions, or a person who went through a breakup, please observe them. If they are your neighbor or a person from your home itself, or your child or your spouse, anyone, please look at their behavior. Okay, so selective groups, target the selective groups here, and also train the gatekeepers. So in Sri Lanka, we have Sumitrio, Sri Lanka Sumitrio and CCC, where these people are not counselors, but are befrienders who are trained in suicide prevention strategies, where they act as gatekeepers and they observe the people around and they readily help them. So yesterday there was this incident. I was at the beach with my kids, and there was a girl, I think she's a German girl and a Sri Lankan boy, and she was crying. So we went and asked what happened, and the girl said they just had a breakup. So she is okay, she said. Everybody were looking at the girl and nobody was supporting the boy. So I called the boy aside and I asked him what's going on, if he has any friends to call to and he can go home. And he said, thank you, because nobody came to me to discuss this and everybody were only caring about the girl, where I felt outcasted. So thank you for coming and talking to me. So please observe your surrounding, what's happening. Somebody raised your hand. Who is it? Shivakumar, can you unmute their mic?
Yeah, I raised my hand. I just want to ask one thing. Can I ask, please?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
I have seen a few cases in the past that ADS case, alcoholic dependence syndrome persons, they generally commit suicide by jumping into well.
What happens after you ingest alcohol? How does your brain works?
I mean, they were completely addicted. I mean, 4 to 5 times a day, they used to drink alcohol as and when they get an opportunity, whatsoever brand it could be. Their entire attention was just to mint money from somewhere to manage, the alcohol, whatsoever it is, and to drink it. That was their habit for years together. But I'm talking about the suicidal tendency. That this idea keep coming always in my mind, that these alcoholic dependent syndrome persons, their way of committing suicide is the one only which I have seen, and that is by jumping into the well.
Very good observation. So you could come up with a new strategy to work with people with alcohol dependence, right?
Yeah, I have never seen them, adopting any other method except jumping into the well. So that is
Maybe.
what yeah.
Yeah, the access is available readily, right? So
but they have many other methods also of committing suicide.
Yes.
As we know well that, by getting electric shock, or by jumping in front of a train, or by consuming poison, or by hanging through some kind of rope and all. I mean, there are many kind of other methods. But
yes,
I
this is the predominant method.
Them do this. I've seen around 5-6 cases. Yes, yes, ma'am.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. So let's discuss about one more strategy, which is called indicated, where we provide community support and continuity of care even after the person who attempts suicide comes out alive. We need to provide them a continuous care. And also the capacity building of health workers who provide mental health prevention of suicide, and early detection and treatment of mental disorders. Since I said that mental disorders contribute to 50% of, hello?
Yeah, please go, please go.
Yes, 50% of suicide is committed by people with mental health disorders. So we need to provide a continuous support and early detection and treatment of mental disorders. And this is for your attention, counselors, gatekeepers, and befrienders. When a person talks to you, how you're going to risk assess the person. Okay? If a person who has had committed or who has attempted suicide or who have any ideation of suicide comes to you, how are you going to assess the risk? Anyone have any idea about it? Please go ahead and share. Nivedita, you've been raising your hand for a long time. Please go on.
Yeah, I would like to introduce myself.
Yes,
Okay,
Nivedita.
I'm literally I'm a consultant neuropsychiatrist. So I just wanted to see how the psychologist group is going. But since last 2 weeks, whatever is going on, I joined that mental health advocate and supporter training just to observe what is happening. See, okay, I usually do online consultations all over the world. My patients are there, okay, and I'm referring many of my clients to take up this course because I'm really finding it very useful. And I would like to even thank Mr. Shivkumar sir, because I am seeing him. He's a very good motivator. And
Thank you very
I would
much.
like to even thank
From a psychiatrist getting these
Yes.
words, really I am humbled, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
ma'am.
I have done my
Thank you.
MBBS from Mysore Medical College, and I have done my post-graduation from JJ Medical College, Davangere. Okay. And I have done my de-addiction specialization from NIMHANS.
Wow.
Okay. So I would like to just
that's
tell
a
you
long
that.
list, Nivedita, and keep doing whatever you love to do. Keep continuing your passion. And thank you for acknowledging our efforts with him. Okay. Thank you so much.
Definitely. See, mental health, I'm telling you, it is like it is in its infancy.
Yeah. So can I go ahead? So how do we risk assess a person with suicidal thoughts?
People, hello?
Yes, Nivedita.
Yeah, 50% people are suffering from mental illness, and the other 50% people who do not have mental illness are also prone to attempt suicide.
Yes.
That means the suicide topic is like, I can tell you, it has to reach each and every person.
Yes, I personally I volunteer at a suicide prevention center for the last 5 years. So I see people with suicidal ideation and thoughts, and sometimes I have people who come with a bottle of poison itself.
Yes.
Yeah. So shall I go ahead, Nivedita, as we have limited time?
Yes, sir. Yeah,
thank you so much.
I would like to tell that you need to concentrate on that another 50% also. Like that
exactly.
means everybody in their life are prone to have the suicidal ideation once or twice, because everybody is going through stress in their life.
So that is the target group I was talking to you about. There's a vulnerable group. So that is a strategy you
and
develop
all
selective.
The psychologists, another request, see, whenever they tell any person utters a word suicide, please refer to local psychiatrist and whomsoever you know, because it has to be evaluated in detail. Otherwise, definitely there will be a chance that we might lose a person.
Yeah, can't agree more. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, bye.
Thank you. Suicide risk assessment. How are we going to do the suicide risk assessment? So you're going to talk. Yes, go on. May I know who is this?
Ma'am, it's Ishfaq.
Yes, Vishwa. Please go ahead.
I think in suicide risk assessment, we have to look for the specificity of the plan. How specific is the plan, and how lethal, it is, and also the availability of means, and how much proximity to social support, ma'am. People who can support.
That's right. You got it right. So it's suicide risk. Yes.
If it's high risk, ma'am, then we can do safety planning. In safety planning, we'll look for resources.
Yes. In high risk, we refer them to the professionals, Vishwa.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So we're going to explore what is the current self-harm. Has the person has done any self-harm? So is there any previous self-harm attempts? Is there any mental disorders or physical disorders? And what is your social history? So in current self-harm, you're going to ask few questions to the person. What are you going to ask? What method of self-harm was involved? So like Vishwa mentioned, what are the means the person was able to, or to idea, whatever the idea they had. So sometimes these people say, okay, I have an idea of jumping in front of the train or a bus, or taking poison, or hanging myself, or cutting my hands, like that. So there will be a lot of things that is involved. So you ask them what method of self-harm was involved. If the person is not in a position to share, please talk to the one who is close to them or a family member, and ask whether the person was alone, to find out what is the social support or family support the person has. Also ask the person what was going through the person's mind at that time. That is very, very important. Okay. Yes, that's right, Shaza Mohammed, because we think people doesn't want to talk about it. But the moment you ask whether do you want to end your pain, or have you tried to end your life, the moment you ask them, they break out. Okay, so these questions are very, very important. And after that, did the person call anyone? After attempting and they failed, did they call anyone? And how did the person feel when the help arrived? About someone who shared with me her life, about how she came out of it. How did you feel when a help arrived, when your father called you?
He came over at 4 o'clock in the morning, and he is, mashallah, say 84 years old. So that shook me. That's what it's.
What was your feeling like? What was your feeling? Did you have a sense of like, I'm okay? I'm going to be okay?
20 minutes to come. It took me about half an hour to come back to that realization.
Realization.
Yes, yeah, that's basically what
that
happened.
helped you, isn't it?
Yeah, that grounded me.
Thank you for sharing that. And also you have to explore previous attempts at self-harm. Has a person ever carried out self-harm? You see many of these youngsters, they cut their hands. Have you come across it? Have you come across hitting their head on the wall when they get angry? Yes. So that is also a cry for help. Yes.
I just wanted to say one thing about one of my clients who was a teenager, and the hurt was so profound that she had there was a stubbornness which was built in her. So when we see that stubbornness in the client, then the first thing that we know is that there is deep down a lot of self-esteem which has been pulled down. So we have to understand that, and very gradually we have to help in raising the self-esteem first, letting the person know that he or she is wanted.
That's lovely. Yes. What is under the iceberg? The psychoanalytic method is very important because we see only the surface layer. We don't see the pain inside. So you have to dig deeper to find what is causing the pain and what do they want to end in their life. Okay. So you have to ask them whether they have carried out self-harm before and what was the method of self-harm was involved, because it is likely to repeat again. That is the reason we ask for the methods as well. And did they receive any help as a result of self-harm? So you also has to ask them whether they received any help after they carried out that self-harm. So please ask these questions, and these are very important for self-assessment. What is your reason to live? Yes, that is why you're going to explore the options available. Okay. And the mental disorders like depression, alcohol use disorders, schizophrenia, and personality disorders, a psychiatrist's help is very, very important. Please refer them to a psychiatrist immediately if you suspect anything is off the rail. Okay, so because only counseling is not going to help them, you have to work along with a clinical psychologist as well as a psychiatrist. And could anybody share what kind of physical disorders could push a person to think about ending their life? Anyone could come on the mic, unmute your mic and come and share with me.
Ma'am, critical health
Any
issues like
chronic illness?
Yes,
cancer,
critical health. Yes.
dialysis patients, cancer patients. Actually, one of my client also is a lady. She is having breast cancer. With that reason, she is losing her hair. One of the part is removed from her body. She is unable to come out from the house, unable to show her face to their relatives, etc. I have counseled up to 2 months. In 4 to 5 sessions, I have suggested her to you need not to bother. It is not for only for you. Many of the people are facing the same issues. No issue. You come out and speak as usual. Like that, I have counseled her. Actually, I have she informed me I no need to live in this what we call
hopelessness, right?
Hope. With that reason, she told many times, I don't have interest to live like that. After giving 2 to 3 months, till time also I'm following up. Now she is okay. She is mingling with all her relatives, with family members. Right now she is okay. She told me that day, if I'm not met with you, maybe today I'm not speaking with you, like that.
Thank you for showing
That
your
might
kindness. Thank you
thank
so much for showing your kindness.
That might be one of the major critical issues like cancer, dialysis patients. They were very prone to these issues.
You're right. So chronic pain, loss of independence. If somebody has lost a limb in an accident or a war, they lose the hope of their life, right? Because they are unable to maintain their life independently. So loss of independence and terminal illness like cancer and disfigurement. So disfigurement, we can talk about this, the acid attacks that is carried out on women, and terminal illness, cancer patients, day by day, cancer is increasing and more people are identified with cancer, right? So these people are the most vulnerable ones because they don't see any hope in their life. And when you are not able to be independent, you feel helpless as well, right? So these are some of the physical disorders where a person may feel that they want to end their life. And there are also social factors. Yes, please go on.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that, post-COVID, people who have lost their smell and taste. There was one of my client who actually attempted suicide because he has lost smell and taste, and he was not regaining even after 1.5 years of recovery from COVID. So this is one more angle. I mean, post-COVID, I think this is something that we also need to look into it, because he feels that the life is worthless if I can't smell or if I can't taste, because he doesn't have appetite, he doesn't want to eat anything, he's not relishing what he's eating. So he's slowly going into depression. So this is, I think these are also some of the reasons.
Absolutely, you're right, Dr. Srivijaya. Absolutely, you're right. Because this is post-pandemic. I think we need to dig deeper into suicidal tendencies as well, right? So this is a new perspective we need to bring about to see the after post-COVID things, right? Okay, so let's move on to social factors. So living conditions and situation. Have you ever thought that that would drive a person to take their life off? The living conditions and situation, lack of social support, unable to find employment, and financial debts and substance use. These are some of the social factors. Anybody would like to share their personal story with social factors?
Personal story. It is a personal story only, madam.
Shanmugam, please go on.
Yeah. Another thing is the love and trust between husband and wife. This suicide attempt they use as a tool. Sometimes it gets failed. That social life that is affecting the entire family, like that is happening. I saved one girl. She was my relative. I met her in a railway station, but she was not looking okay. This happened 6 years back. She was not okay. I just called her. She used to call me as a father. I called her, why are you looking like this? Something is wrong with you. Come, you'll go for a walk. In the platform, when I went there, she told me, Appa, if you didn't call me, I would have, the Vaiga Express, I would have jumped into that and I would have suicide. I asked, what is the problem? He said, my husband, for the past 6 months, he had a quarrel and he wants to get divorced. That guy is a relative of my personal relative, cousin, sister's guy. Station itself, I asked them, called both them, and I sat with them for 1 hour. The train was late, thankfully to God. And I told her, simple reason, it was a small fight regarding the joining of the boy in a school. That made a big thing. So nowadays, the parents and as well as the suicide attempt made by some people, whoever it is, boy, girl, father, mother, whoever it is, all the social structure, what has done, everything become a competitive, like going for 100 meters relay. They don't know it is a 26 miles relay. So this is the main reason for maximum suicide.
Yeah, there is
Earlier we
also a
said,
lot of guilt and shame attached to suicide, or a person who has lost anything to go on living. There is a lot of guilt attached to it as well, and relationship
yes,
failures are also becoming one of the cause.
major
Now it's a
issue.
major cause. Yes, yes. Thank you for sharing that, Shanmugam. Let's go on to the counselor's role in counseling the suicidal persons. So the first thing what we have to do is to formulate the warning signs. If the person has attempted already, you have collected the details, you have assessed the risk, so you formulate the warning signs. When you talk to your client, you know what kind of energy they are giving out, what kind of emotions they are giving out, so you will be able to understand. Then work with the client to make their home safe. Are they having access to any poisons in their house? Do they live alone in a room? So talk to their parents and develop a safety plan. Parents or whomever is living with them, you develop a safety plan and obtain a commitment to treatment. Talk to them, tell them this is a temporary feeling and obtain a commitment. See them often when having a crisis. If there is the client for you who is showing signs of committing suicide, please talk to them. Even when they are calling you at the middle of something, please save a life. Talk to them during the crisis period and refer them for specialist care. Always, we cannot work alone with few clients, so we have to work along with other therapists as well. So please don't hesitate to refer them to specialists where you can work along with them. So what are the protective factors? We spoke about all the negative aspects. What is that can protect them from making that decision? Making it happy? Yes, family. That's right.
Someone to listen, someone to vent out to, someone to just listen without judgment.
Exactly. It's a strong personal relationship with someone where they have attachment, and also the personal belief system. I had a client who said in Buddhism, suicide is not a choice. So though he had suicidal ideation and he wanted to try it, because of the personal belief system, he did not want to commit it. So personal belief system also plays a main role, and also positive coping strategies. Like she said, a supportive family, a supportive friends. So counseling suicidal person, what are the
Okay, I think there is a electricity problem in Sri Lanka. Yeah. Shobika, your voice is not audible, but your picture is a little bit visible. Acha. Okay. So it was a very wonderful. Isn't it?
मैं एक शेयर कर सकती हूँ एक इंसिडेंट आई वांट टू शेयर
Yeah, one minute.
Neelam Dhamicha.
Tim, is it audible? Is it audible? Nita, is it audible?
Voice is breaking.
Sorry, your audio is breaking, sir.
My power went off, so I have to continue with this without the video. Is it fine?
Yeah, please go ahead, please go ahead. Please go ahead. Shobhika? Acha. So it is a very wonderful training, completely interactive. So till she joins, I will show you something which I will be forwarding to you. Okay. So one is CAMS, CAMS, CAMS. Okay. CAMS. This is one of the therapy styles. This is one of the therapy styles which is very much helpful for suicidal prevention, for any kind of therapy. Okay. So CAMS, it has a very well laid steps. Okay. So how about having a 2-day session, 2 days absolutely free session with some e-certificate on suicide prevention? Please put it in the chat box. Yeah, but you're Shobhika, already you're a Shobhika, 1 minute. You're co-host now. You can unmute yourself.
Thank you so much. I think because I joined from my phone. Yeah. So shall I go? Shall I go ahead?
Yeah.
Okay.
Please go.
So when we are talking about counseling suicide persons, there are 3 main methods where we connect, communicate, and care. So how do we connect? Can anybody unmute and tell me, how do we connect with the clients who have suicidal ideation?
Shobhika ma'am. Ma'am.
I can go ahead.
Yeah, Shobhika ma'am.
Yes.
It is 9 o'clock now. So Shobhika ma'am, can we do a 3-day session on suicide prevention? It is actually seems to be a very wonderful aspect, and you are taking it very nicely. Okay. Why can't we, because this may be helpful for many. We can have more people also. We can bring more people. Shall we do a 2 more day session on completely the prevention? Because see, Shobhika, is it audible?
Yes.
Yeah. So shall we do?
Definitely, Shukumar.
So Shobhika is also ready to join. So Shobhika, today's session, it's very, very wonderful. Maybe 9 o'clock, it's going to over. You can just complete it. Okay.
I'm humble. Thank you.
In 2 days. Yeah.
Yes.
Please go.
Okay. So let me quickly finish how we connect to the people who have suicidal ideation or trying to end their life. We foster connection with those who have lost a loved one to suicide, because in research and observational studies, they have found that people or the immediate family member is likely to commit suicide if they have lost anyone to suicide in the family. So it is always best to foster connection with anybody who have lost a loved one, and connect with those also who are having suicidal thought. So social connectedness reduce suicide. Like he said, somebody was sharing, like he called that person who was about to commit suicide. So social connectedness reduce suicide. Having someone connected can be a life saving. Every one of us can play a role. So please remember that all of us can be a part of saving lives. Next is communicating. Open communication is vital to fight suicide.
So mostly we don't talk about it. That's what I was telling. The minute you ask them, do they have any ideas about ending their life, they will just break off and share with you everything they had in their mind. There are few people who are really tough to crack, but there are most of the people, they are willing to share their ideas and thoughts and what is going on in their life. Allow them to speak in their own way, using their own time. Don't pressure them, and do not say it is not only you, the world is suffering. Then you're undermining their pain. So always listen to them and allow them to talk and take their own time. That is why in Sumitrayo, we do not have a 1 hour time of 45 minutes. Sometimes we had befriending sessions for 4 hours straight, because we allow them to talk to us and take their own time. You cannot hurry a person who comes with suicidal thoughts to just go home, because we can give you only 45 minutes, right? So we allow them to take their own time. And reflective listening in a non-judgmental way. This we already heard from rapport building. I don't know whether you all have attended the session that was conducted by Shruti, right? So rapport building is also an important part of this. And empathic communication. A lot of you wrote in the chat box, empathy plays a major role. So empathic communication has been found to be helpful in suicide prevention. So please empathize, do not judge, and don't undermine their pain. And caring, provide supportive care and strengthen adaptive coping strategies. Or you want to talk about it, I'm here. I'm open. Please come over. Let's have a cup of tea and talk about it. Please provide supportive care. And adaptive coping strategies we can do in 2 ways, which is problem solving and emotion reducing strategy. In problem solving, always tell them seek help, obtain information and guidance, and confront. Okay, did you try this? What was that? What is that means? What is that emotion? Is that hopelessness? Are you feeling worthless? Why is that so? So talk to them, dig deeper and find out what is causing that pain. And next is the emotion reducing strategies, where let them ventilate the emotion, ask them to evaluate the problem and reappraise the problem to see it in a different way. Okay, this is the way you see it. Shall we see in another way? Is there a way to look at it in a different perspective? Talk to them. And how they can avoid the problem. Okay, breakup is causing me pain. So can you avoid seeing that girl or boy? Can we talk about it? Is there other way to see? So talk to them, especially with young children. We need to talk. We need to create a good rapport so that they will be open to us about everything in their life. And be a friend. Don't be a judge. Okay. So that is all for today. I'm so happy that this group was amazing and they shared a lot of information and I learned a lot from them. Thank you so much, Shivakumar and Imokya, for giving me this opportunity.
Shobhika, it is one of the wonderful sessions I have attended. One of the wonderful sessions.
Thank you. I'm humbled.
Wonderful session, because see, a session has to go like what you call a beautiful a movie. We should not know when it has started. We should not know when it has ended. It should go so quick, and really the way in which you interacted with people and your questions, and particularly your English. Shobhika, you are really an international trainer. Hats off to you, and we will plan a further 2 more days program. So whoever joined today, please join in the program, and we can invite others also. We will do a 3 days program, and we will give some e-certificate also, free e-certificate also we will give. Because I think this training, because I also have so many resources, which I thought I could share. Now, I will share you a poll. Okay, only one question. Okay, only one question. Can you just answer it? As far as suicide is concerned, okay. As far as suicide is concerned, suppose you are a counselor. Yeah, it is better to refer patients if you find you can't handle. That is, I agree. No, that I don't agree. I have other options. It is better to refer patients if you find you can't handle. You can't handle. That means it is a straightaway question. I am not able to handle. In that case, is it better to refer the patients to someone else? Or you have some other option? Yeah, please. 67 people have answered. 69%. Team, please answer. Please answer. Please answer. 71%. 63% have answered. 65. Team, only one question. Come on. Go on. Please. Yeah. Please go ahead. 78. That means 80 people are mentally present. 80 people have given. 80 people are mentally and physically present. It is not moving above 80. One more percent, 81. Let us wait for one more minute. 81, 82, 83, 84 people are mentally present. 84 are mentally present and physically present. Only one question. So out of 114, 5, 10, 14, 25 people are not present in the class, but 87. Achha. Okay, 2 more seconds. Okay, now, so there are people who said I have other options. Okay, so what are the other options you have? Can anyone share? If you feel that you are not able to handle you can't handle the patient. Somebody is coming with suicidal thoughts. You feel you will not be able to handle. Okay. What are the other aspects here? 7 people have answered. You can open the mic and tell. If you feel you can't handle, you come to know that you can't handle. Is it better to refer or I have other options? What is better?
Sir, for me, I think it's better to refer, because if a person is not able to handle the patient, it means that he is running out of options, that he has no options. So it's better to refer.
Yeah, hope all of you agree. All of you agree?
Yes.
Please raise your hands.
Yes,
Please
sir.
raise your hands.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Please raise your hands. But actually, the answer is wrong. The answer is wrong as far as suicide prevention is concerned. Don't refer, transfer. There is a difference between transfer and refer. Don't refer. Never refer anybody is coming from suicidal thoughts. You feel that you are not able to handle. Never refer them. Transfer them. There is a difference between transfer and refer. What is the difference?
Making arrangements to send to the
we can
psychiatrist.
send the person to other consultant who can tell them about the prevention strategy, or who can treat them, like a psychiatrist.
What is transfer and what is refer? What is the difference between referring and transferring? Never refer your patients. Never refer your patients. Transfer your patients. What is the difference?
Transfer means transferring a person to a better person than ourselves or psychiatrist.
No. Yeah, no, Yogesh. No, Yogesh.
Refer is in written and transfer is in helping.
Transfer means you are taking your own aspect, your own risk, your own motivation to see that the other person has reached the other person. That is what transfer. See, somebody is coming with a suicidal thought. You are referring someone. That means you are setting a risk. You go on meeting. When he is traveling to the other place now, because all these things are quite a few minutes thought. Anything can happen. That is referring. Never refer. Transfer. Transfer means see that you are referring to a psychiatrist. See that the person has reached the psychiatrist. Take all the possible aspects. Even if it is not psychiatrist, at least a doctor. At least a doctor. I got a call at night 11:30. I got a call at night 11:30. Somebody, some student, right? And they called me. Okay. We went, there were no psychiatrists. Nearby there was no psychiatrist. They immediately called me. I also went. I told, have you tried psychiatrist? They told no. And they were crying. Shiva, please come. Shiva, please come. And they were my friends also. Immediately I went. Immediately we have taken them to a nearby doctor. He is only MBBS doctor. But we went and we told the thing, because immediately if I am not able to take to a psychiatrist, at least this boy has to sleep. You should be under the surveillance. So only the MBBS doctor can give a tablet to sleep or an injection to sleep, because he needs to sleep night 11:30. So just like that, if I am giving counseling and referring to psychiatrist, tomorrow morning go and see. Today night, I am responsible now. Always transfer your patients. Just don't merely refer. Refer means you are just writing a slip, and see, when you go to your doctor, you are referred to a gynecologist. Whether you have gone to a gynecologist or not, that this doctor doesn't know. That is what a refer. Transfer means, you are transferred means it is, you have seen that the person has gone and met. So every word which we use has its own implications. Thank you very much, team. And I have shared the link as usual. Okay, if you find this session useful, please give your valuable inputs. Please give your valuable inputs. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, Ishwak,
Thank you, sir.
Ishwak.
Thank you, sir.
Ishwak.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, do you agree with what I am telling?
Yes,
Transfer and refer?
yes, sir. Absolutely.
Yes.
In transferring, the therapist is making sure that the patient is, referred to. Yes, sir.
Is reached. So that is a technicality of the language. Thank you very much. And
Thank you,
Shobika,
sir.
hats off to you. It is a wonderful session. Wonderful session. Please share all your views on the link which I have shared. Thank you very much, team. Bye-bye. Please don't forget to give your feedbacks. That helps us to grow. Thank you, Nita. Bye. Thank you, Purushottam sir. Thank you, Shobika. Thank you, team. Bye-bye. Please don't forget to give your reviews. Write something there. But always, hi Yogesh. Thank you, Yogesh.
Thank you,
Thank you
sir.
very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
जिंदगी एक सफर मुस्कुराना, कल क्या होगा किसने जाना. Team, please don't forget to give your reviews.